Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Glow Up Guide. So it's almost 2025. That was fast. It literally feels like 2024 just started. I'm like, where the flip has the time gone? It just went poof. In honest opinions, even though I didn't accomplish a good chunk of my New Year's goals, it was still a really good year. I learned a lot. I met a lot of people actually, and I actually did stuff with my life instead of being a useless lump in my free time. For some people, this year also went by really fast, and we're all thinking about what we're going to do in the upcoming year and those resolutions, goal setting, vision board making, all that good stuff. But for some of us, we just want the year to be over already. Or maybe you're just really looking forward to Christmas and that's why you want the year to be over. It does not matter. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about what my guide and my tips to prepare for the new year and be ready to just lock in and get stuff done and achieve our goals. And speaking of goals, you might want to start thinking about your New Year's resolutions. A few of my goals are to develop the habit of physically getting out of bed within 5 minutes of waking up, including more protein in my diet, and making plans with people at least once every weekend, and also trying 10 new hobbies or getting back into certain hobbies. Okay, so that was kind of long. Um, anyways, so before moving on, let's do podcast updates and live updates. So starting with podcast updates, 750 plays. I don't think I'm getting by the end of the year, but if I get another really good day where I get like 40 plays or something in one day, I might actually be able to do that. So if y'all could help me reach that goal, that would be amazing. Because like I'm trying to give you advice to help you reach your goals. You can help me reach mine. So yeah, that would be amazing. But we're at 750 plays. So yeah, kind of crazy though. I never thought it would like grow that much. Ever since I hit like 300, 400 or something, it started like rapidly growing compared to what it did before. Still not ideal, but it's something. Something's always better than nothing. So life updates. Honestly, nothing happened this past week. Lots of school, lots of homework, school chaos. I have homework to do over winter break because of my civics teacher. Um, it's winter break. That's literally it. It's gonna be so boring. Yeah. So that's fun. Not really much going on, and there's not going to be much going on for like the next 2 weeks or something until school starts again, and I'm thrown back into that chaos. So yeah, that's literally it. But before moving on, let's do one thing we're grateful for and one thing we're happy about, plus our book of the week. Okay, so one thing I'm grateful for is this is probably really stupid, but like the shelf on top of my closet, I guess I'm grateful that I have that because I don't know, I keep a lot of stuff up there, and if it weren't for that, my room would be a hellhole of a disaster. So grateful to that. And then one thing I'm happy about is that it was freezing cold on my run, and it was actually not that bad. So it was below freezing. It was 31 degrees Fahrenheit, which is borderlining because 32 degrees Fahrenheit is freezing. So I still went on my run because I'm me. And it actually wasn't so bad because it was actually really sunny outside, like full sun. So it wasn't super bad, and I was actually able to run. So I got my run done, and that's something good. And I feel kind of concerned that this weather's happening in like the end of December, but like, oh well. And I don't know if we're gonna get any more snow. Oh, I just came up with another thing. Speaking of snow, it snowed again last week in same time in the middle of my homeroom class, and we went outside. And it was like really fun, except I was wearing a t-shirt again, so I was freezing cold, for like 10 whole minutes. But it was really fun. So it snowed, but it didn't stick because it was 36 degrees outside. So yeah, I'm really hoping we get some snow that sticks and we get a snow day soon. Fingers crossed for that. But that's that. Okay, and then our book of the week is I don't actually think I have one. I haven't been reading that much. So the book I'm reading for school. Okay, so this is a book that I read a while ago, but I'm reading it again for a school project. It's The Getaway by Lamar Giles, and basically it's this fictional place, Karloff Country, and it's one of the world's most famous resorts. And Jay is living a perfect life in a world that's not exactly the best. And when people come here to vacation, it's to get away from all the thing. And as things outside the walls or outside Karloff Country get worse, and the trouble starts seeping into Karloff. First, Jay's friend and Connie and her family, they disappear in the middle of the night, not a trace, and no one's talking about it or anything. No one knows anything. Then the richest and most powerful families start arriving. But the only thing is, they aren't leaving. Unknown to the employees, the resort has been selling shares in an end of the world oasis. best of the best are at the end of the days. And in order to deliver the top-notch customer service the wealthy clientele paid for, the employees will be at their total beck and call, whether they want to or whether they don't want to. But Karlov Country didn't count on Jay and his crew and just how far they'll go to find out the truth and save themselves. But what's more important, the monster you know in your home or the unknown nightmare outside the walls. So this is a really good book. I'm kind of in the middle of it because I keep having to go back. I have to reread this 2 times to get things together because I just spaced on some things I was supposed to do for the project. But it's actually a really good book. Definitely recommend you read it. Okay, so moving on to the actual content of the episode. Before we even start preparing for the upcoming year, we need to take some time to reflect on what happened and what we did, and what accomplished, and also what we didn't do or didn't accomplish, and why those things happened, and what we did to achieve them. Pretty much everything related to those past goals. If you want, get out your journal or a piece of paper and really think about all this stuff. Pull out your vision board from the past year if you had one. Take a moment to look at that vision board and see what you did accomplish and also what you didn't accomplish, and maybe why. This gives you an opportunity to think about all your wins. When we're faced with any situation in life, what we do without even realizing it is to look for all the negatives, because those outweigh the positives. And honestly, our society is built to just focus on everything negative. But what about the positives? We don't take any time to focus on those. This is our chance to do just that. What are all the things you did accomplish? How did you accomplish them? I know one big thing I did this past year was to read 125 books. I did that by tracking my reading. Another one was getting above 500 on my math as well. I did that by studying for a minimum of 2 hours a day, 6 at most. It was crazy, and it went like that for a month. Not fun. I wanted to hit 500 plays on this podcast, and I did at the very end of September. I remember I put the post on September 30th. I did that by putting a ton of work every single day into this podcast, along school and other stuff. I wanted to have a full summer. I did that by making plans with people and doing other things by myself. Plenty more smaller things that I can think of, but we have a good start for now. Now for the things that were not accomplished. I started waking up even earlier than I started with. Even later than I started with, my bad. I wish it was earlier. Probably because I developed a struggle to physically get myself out of bed in the mornings. Normally, as soon as the alarm rang, I would throw myself out of bed. So that's not a fun one. Another one is to start calligraphy. This one I just forgot about until last week when I started writing this. Another one is to start drinking enough water. Didn't work because I just didn't care most of the time. And when I don't care about something, that's it. When I say I don't care about something, that's it. Nothing will convince me to change that. So I gotta get myself to change it. There's plenty more, but once again, a good place to get started. Just thinking about the goals that we didn't accomplish as a learning pathway. We learn from what we do and also what we didn't do. Take the stuff that you didn't achieve as I didn't do this in the past year, so how can I actually make it happen this upcoming year? Next week's episode is going to be an actual New Year's reflection where I go more in depth into all this stuff, and that episode last year was actually a really fun one, so definitely stay tuned for that. And there's a couple other fun episodes that I have planned for now through maybe mid-January, because I kind of started late on everything. So yeah, but sometimes the only way to move forward is to think backwards and reflect. And the only way we actually manage to achieve stuff and do that in the upcoming year is to think about what did and didn't work in the past year, so you can take that and apply it. Next step to prep for the upcoming year is to really think about your goals. What are some things that you want to accomplish in the upcoming year? There's lots of things that you might want to do, whether it's to read more or exercise more or socialize more or spend more time alone, eat healthier. Yeah, I made my point. But there's tons and tons of things you probably want to accomplish in the new year. So breaking this down. First off, you just want to begin listing things that you want to do in the new year. I'm going to do this right now, and you can do the same thing with me. All you need to do is just say what comes to mind. For me, one of my big goals for the upcoming year is to try 10 new hobbies. I don't want to keep all 10. I just want to test them out and keep maybe 3 or 4. I also want to make plans with people at least once every single weekend. Ever since soccer ended, I've had a concerning amount of free time over the weekends, and I honestly did not know that 2 practices and 1 game a week, all of an hour and a half each, took up that much of my life. So now I want to fill that free time by hanging out with people outside of school more often. Next is to read 100 books. I set a reading goal every year without fail, and I honestly don't know why, probably to make sure I retain the habit of reading because it's one of the best habits I have, probably, that I know I will retain. The next one is to get out of bed within 5 minutes of waking up. I know that in the past I've had a goal to wake up early and become a morning person again for the longest time, but now I want to focus on getting myself fully out of bed within 5 minutes of waking up. The reason for that being I do actually wake up on time. It just takes me an abnormally long amount of time to actually get myself out of bed. So I just need to take a focus off the time I wake up on and put that focus into getting out of bed. I know I want to start volunteering again on the weekends or after school because when I volunteered over the summer, it was, even though it wasn't much, it was still a good experience and I had fun. Like I said, I don't do much besides soccer outside of school, and volunteering is something I want to add to my list so I have something to do. Plus, it gives you a good feeling when you know you helped someone. They say there's like a saying that goes, "There's never something, there's never like a truly selfless act because it always helps yourself, or it always makes you feel good, or something like that, something along those lines. I don't know." Another one is drinking enough water. I just can't drink enough water. I don't know why, so I really need to get on drinking more water. Eating more protein is another thing. About a month and a half ago at this point, I realized I was losing muscle mass. So I dialed back on the running, kept it at 5 days a week, and just cut the duration down to 20 minutes instead of 30 minutes. I also started doing 30-minute strength training sessions thrice a week instead of 20 minutes twice a week. Fast forward to like last week, 2 weeks ago, and it's pretty much fixed, but I've still been cautious in doing the same stuff so I don't lose muscle mass again out of nowhere. I have cut my strength training though. I'm like slowly working back into my normal routine. I've cut strength training from 3 days a week, 30 minutes to 2 days a week, 30 minutes, and I honestly might just keep it there. Um, so yeah. But in this process, I also realized I eat a third as much protein as I should. I think that's all the big ones though. Maybe the most amount of goals I've ever had, but oh well. Next step is to think about why. I want to spend more time with people so I can do something with my life and have more fun and hang out with people I don't see very often and develop better friendships with people. I want to try new hobbies because I don't really have any hobbies anymore and I want to have something fun to do with all my extra free time. I want to get out of bed within 5 minutes because then I can wake up earlier and have more time to get ready in the mornings and also have more energy throughout the day. And this actually connects to a goal I want to, for myself starting last week, which is really broad, but like I want to look more well maintained because some days I will literally leave my house for school and my hair will not be done and I will like space on putting moisturizer on my face and I look really bad. And I don't want that. I want to look cleaner and more well maintained, I guess. And there's like plenty of things I can do for that. So these two goals kind of connect. I need to wake up earlier in order to make that happen. So yeah, I want to drink more water to clear up my skin, improve my overall health, and have less headaches. I want to eat more protein so I don't lose more muscle mass. Just find some reasons that will motivate you every time you don't want to do something to work towards your goal. Remind yourself of those reasons and do it. The way to test if this goal truly matters to you is to think about whether the reason you have beneath it or the reasons you have beneath it would motivate you to do it when you absolutely don't want to do it. Like you would rather walk on hot coals barefoot or watch paint dry or eat worms than do it. If this reason would motivate you to do it in that type of situation, then it's a good one. If you know it won't, then don't even try. Third part of this is a SMART goal system. For those of you who don't know what SMART goals are, it's basically a goal setting system to make sure you to make and also make sure you achieve your goals and make a plan to achieve these goals. The S stands for specific. You don't want your goals to be too broad because it makes you less likely to do them and also makes it really easy to find stupid loopholes to that goal. And that in turn makes you disappointed in yourself in the long run. And there are studies that support the fact that I want to start running to get fitter. Oh my bad. They support the fact that if you set a goal, like a really specific goal, such as I want to start running to get fitter. So I'm going to run every morning for 30 minutes before breakfast. That's a much clearer goal and it actually sounds a lot easier than I want to run more. Okay, you want to run when? How long should you run? Why are you running more? There are plenty of unanswered questions with that goal. So make your goal as specific as possible because that will make you think of it as something easier to do even when it's really the same thing as the broad version of it. Um there yeah, just do that. Make your goal as specific as possible. The M stands for measurable. You want to have a way of tracking your progress. Continuing with the running goal example, you might use an app to track your run and those stats. I use an app called Nike Run Club to track my runs. Find your own way to track your progress. The A stands for achievable. You want to make sure you can actually achieve your goals, otherwise there's no point in achieving them. The R stands for realistic. If you want to start running more, don't expect to become good as Usain Bolt or someone who runs in the Olympics, because that's low-key impossible. You want to make sure your goal is something realistic. Finally, the T stands for time bound. You want to set a deadline for when you want to achieve this goal by. And in our case, our deadline is the end of the year. Step 3 is to make a vision board. Probably my favorite part of prepping for the new year, because making a vision board is actually a lot more fun than it sounds. So Pinterest is amazing for when you're trying to create a vision board, because there are so many photos and so much inspiration for your vision board on there. And there's also vision boards that other people have created. Speaking of Pinterest, I was on Pinterest earlier today, and a new thing they recently added is collages, and you can basically pull photos from Pinterest and create your own collage and save that, which I think is really cool. I'm trying to get it together, and I want to post my vision board on Instagram for my episode update this week. It's going to be a little late because I literally just started gathering things today, so I'm trying to get a vision board together for that. But yeah, so I love Pinterest, and honestly, I'm pretty sure that lots of people love Pinterest. But just go on Pinterest and find some photos that really match the goals that you set for yourself. They don't have to be pictures, they can be quotes, little mementos from over the years that you think would work for your vision board, words, just whatever. You can find stuff that's really good and aesthetic on Pinterest, because it's literally the best. Now, you also have to decide how you're going to do the vision board. You can do a physical vision board, which might work better for some people like me. Just get a cork board or like a piece of cardboard, literally anything, a board. And because it's like, yeah, you can stick photos onto the board and make it look really nice, because this thing is going to be stuck with you for the whole flipping year. A year is a long time to see something a bunch of times every single day, so you want to make sure it looks nice. Anyway, the main reason people do a digital vision board is because they want to set it as their phone background or their laptop background, and that's how they see it the most often. But this reason some people do a physical vision board is because even though it's a ton more work, it's honestly a lot more fun to cut out photos and glue them to the board and make it look all nice and pretty. I know this one would work a lot better for me because I spend a lot of time in my room. So I would put it on the wall above my desk because I spend a ton of time in my room, and I would see it a bunch if I put it there. If I did a digital one and put it as my Chromebook screensaver, not as much, because even though I do use my Chromebook a lot, I wouldn't specifically see my screensaver a lot. So now let's talk about the digital vision boards. These are definitely better if you're a busy person, because creating a physical vision board can sometimes take hours on end to do, and you're going to see it all the damn time because everyone's chronically online these days. It's also a lot easier to resize and arrange photos digitally. You can use Canva or Google Slides to create a digital one, and both of them are free. I prefer Canva because it's much easier to use than Google Slides, for me at least, and there's more features and more ways that you can just make it look pretty, I guess. Yeah, just get some photos together and you can save them to your device by right clicking and hitting save and doing that, or doing Control S and saving it that way. Then you can just go on your device and print them out. Or if you're doing it digitally, another option is to copy and paste the photos onto your Canva thing or Google Slides thing. This is pretty easy. You can also just do both, which I honestly just might end up doing. I don't really know. And one thing I just thought of that is useful to both goal setting and is something you can put on your vision board is to either write or type up a list of your dream self. I saw this on some video that I saw on Getting It Together or something like that for the upcoming year, and I think this would actually be really useful. It works exactly as it sounds. You take a piece of paper or open up a Google Doc and title that page Dream Self, then start writing stuff about the dream version of yourself. Maybe this person is really confident or always gets good grades or is good with managing their money. Maybe they look like they maintain themselves in their appearance, or this person is a social person and always hanging out with people. Just think about those things that you want for yourself and put that little list on your vision board to achieve for yourself. This can be very beneficial to achieving your goals, because I read in the book Atomic Habits by James Clear that if you associate a habit with your identity instead of as a habit, you're a ton more likely to achieve the goal and build that habit. So instead of I want to build a habit of waking up earlier, change that to I want to become a morning person. Instead of I want to start running more, change that to I want to become a runner. Associate those habits with your identity, which makes you a lot more likely to achieve it. Simple as that. And this dream self method kind of does that pretty well. Next up is to do some cleaning, a little bit of a refresh. Your space has a lot of influence on you. If you cultivate a living space that allows you to, let's take starting a hobby of practicing guitar as an example, maybe setting aside a designated space to practice guitar. That's what I mean. So you want to create a space that will allow you to achieve your goals. If you're trying to get more sleep, maybe get a better quality bed and pillows and some good bedding too. Things like that. So clear your space. I personally feel like going into a new year that it's so much better and you feel so much more ready for the upcoming year with a clean space, like a clean slate. I know that in some traditions you're actually supposed to clean for the New Year's to erase the bad luck and negativity of the past year, and you're also not supposed to clean right after New Year's in order to make sure that you don't accidentally erase any of the good luck or positivity that the new year brings. But clearing out your space is a must if you really want to reset and if you really want to make room for not just material things that go along with your goals, but to also make room for a new you in general. This one is especially important if your New Year's resolutions are going to involve buying and storing a lot of material objects, like my goal is to try out 10 new hobbies, and that involves buying and storing a ton of things. All the stuff for these hobbies takes up a ton of space. So I reorganized and cleared out the top shelf of my closet, and now I have all those hobby supplies on that shelf. I really need to get started on deep cleaning the rest of my room though, probably after this I record this episode. When I mean clear your space, I don't mean just put the papers where they go and wash the dishes and simple things like to do some daily or weekly cleaning to get your room or house looking presentable. I'm talking about going through all the clothes and putting things you don't want to put in a pile to donate or trash, washing the washer basket, fixing stains on the wall, deep cleaning carpet treatments, all that stuff to really deep clean your living space and make sure it looks really ready and feels ready for the upcoming year. Speaking of which, donating your clothes is a good way to give them a second life to someone who can really get a good use out of it. A good way to go through clothes is to take anything you haven't worn in 6 months and won't wear in the next 6 months and put them in a pile to donate or trash unless there's something like traditional clothes or fancy clothes. Or just stuff that is either stained or too small or you just don't like. Another option is to go online on eBay or Poshmark or something like that and sell your clothes to make some extra money if you have some nicer clothes, and that money can go towards your new goals for this upcoming year. But maybe there's certain cleaning tasks that you only do once a year. You can save them for this New Year's time. Get all that random stuff done so you're ready by the time January 1st rolls around. A good way to clear out a much larger living space is the KonMari method. This is a method created by Japanese cleaning guru Marie Kondo to make sure you only have things that spark joy in you. She has some books like The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up and Spark Joy. In basic terms, there are five categories, that go in order. Clothes, books, paper, kimono, which is miscellaneous, and finally sentimental items like photos. You can go through all these things in your space by category instead of area, which makes sure you got everything. You just keep going through the categories and hold items one by one and see if they spark joy in you. If they do, you can keep them. You should keep them. And if they don't, you get rid of them. She also has 2 Netflix series, which I think you should definitely watch. Deep cleaning a space, even a small space, is a lot and it can take forever. Even if you have just like one room like me, it still takes the longest time. We've got about a week till the new year, so there's actually plenty of time to deep clean. Just find any and all free time you have and put it towards deep cleaning. I know it would take me maybe a few days to fully deep clean my room, and I'm pretty sure that's only because I clean up my room a bit every single Sunday like clockwork. If I didn't do that, then I would have drowned in the mess. Another thing you can do when you're done with the actual cleaning and decluttering step is rearranging furniture. You can either buy some new furniture or move around the stuff you already have to give your space a brand new feel. Even moving one piece of furniture in a space can make it feel totally brand new, and if you're starting to get tired of how your space looks and feels, definitely try moving around the furniture or buying some new things if you got money to spare. Painting the walls is another good option if they're starting to look kind of tired and dull and feeling that way too. We're getting really serious about cleaning up here, okay? So cleaning for the new year is really important, but like I said, deep cleaning. Not normal daily or weekly cleaning. It will save you a ton of time and pain in the new year, and also having a cleared out space can really help you reset your life. Take this as a sign to declutter your whole living space and get together for the new year. Now, it's time to clear out another big area of our life, and that's social media and just digital stuff in general. So digital decluttering. We're talking about social media, photos, files, emails, apps, cloud storage, whatever, all that stuff. Next to our living space or spaces, we spend a ton of time on technology. Like everyone is chronically online. And even though I don't have a phone, my mom does. And so that's the phone I've used. I've accumulated so much junk on there that I really don't need anymore. And you probably have too. So there's a couple different categories of digital stuff that I'm gonna go over. The first one being social media. Social media is a huge part of really everyone's lives these days. I personally think that most social media is toxic, honestly, and that's because social media is a good thing. No one knows how to use it right though. Like no one, absolutely no one knows how to use it so that it's a good thing that has a positive influence on people and not a bad one. Um, but because of that, it's toxic. Besides Pinterest, I love Pinterest, and the main reason I think social media is toxic is because social media, like, it makes people spend so much time on it that could be spent on other things, and then they complain about procrastination. But mainly because social media only shows the highlights of people's lives. Influencers and just about everybody, they want you to believe that their lives are perfect, but their lives are so much more than the few photos or 1 minute clips um, they post per day. Last time I checked, there were a lot more minutes in a day than shown on a reel. It only shows you those perfect days. It only shows you perfect people, but that's not reality. And neither is Photoshop, okay? Like, these photos are Photoshopped to the point of losing the original photo. So unfollow people that don't really support the vibe you want to have for the upcoming year. Unfollow people that post stuff that doesn't match your vibe and that's just really negative. Do that. There's really no problem with unfollowing someone, and I have no clue why people think there's such a huge problem in unfollowing someone. Next big one is photos. Everyone on this planet with access to a phone with a camera takes photos of literally everything. But I always find that if you don't take a photo of something, you remember it better. I don't remember the Diwali fireworks from literally last month, but I'll remember the times when me and my old friends hung out that I have very few photos of. You also probably have a dumb ton of screenshots you took by accident, other accidental photos you took, duplicate photos, ones that have people closing their eyes, or like blurry photos, and also just stuff you haven't gone through. So go through it. You will free up tons of space for photos of all the new memories you're going to make this upcoming year. Might not even need to pay for that extra storage anymore. It's also a good opportunity to reflect on the memories you made in the past year. So go do that. Next up is email. We sign our emails up for so many damn things that we lose count of what we have accounts on. I know I have, like, I don't even know, probably like 100 different things at this point. Go through your email and delete the ones with large attachments that you don't need because they take up a ton of space. And also unsubscribe to people and sites and businesses or organizations that you don't need emails from anymore. You can honestly just delete every email in your promotions because it's just all marketing and you don't even need it. Like, you probably don't need marketing. Unsubscribe to as much as you can. Fourth on this list of digital decluttering is apps. We accumulate apps so damn easily. Maybe you downloaded an app for something and you meant to delete it right after and then you just spaced on it, delete it. And also, if you don't know what an app is, don't even look through it, just delete it because if you don't even remember what it is, there's really no point in keeping it. And if you look at it, you're probably going to end up keeping it and that takes more space on your phone, so no. And also, you're probably not going to use it again if you didn't even remember what the frick it is. Just delete it. You can free up a ton of cloud storage. Speaking of which, the final step is to check your iCloud storage. It might be bursting like my mom's is. In that case, look at what's taking up the storage so that if anything, just look at what's taking up the most space and get rid of it if possible. If you really need to, you can buy some more storage so that if anything were to actually happen to your phone, you don't lose everything important on it. Tackle it all because you spend a ton of time on your phone and laptop and technology in general. So you want to make sure it isn't full of junk and clutter. One final small thing is creating new playlists. You can create some new playlists so you have music to listen to while you're cleaning or shopping or whatever you might be doing to reset for 2025 and also all throughout 2025. In my opinion, and I'm sure lots of people would agree with me, music makes literally everything better. Cleaning is better, homework is better, and it's also more fun to do. So go on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you usually listen to music and find some new motivating songs that you can add so that you have music to listen to that will uplift and inspire you to get to work and do stuff with the new year. Creating a go-to playlist that motivates you and inspires you is really crucial for those times where you just want to quit and be a lump. It's really cool how music plays such a big role in how we feel and our energy levels. Another thing is finding a good motivating podcast like this one, or maybe like your go-to motivational or self-help podcast is this podcast. So in that case, very good choice you made. But just finding a good podcast or two that can motivate you really well. Both of these things can really boost you up when you need it. So that was my guide to prepare and reset for the new year so that you're ready to walk in and actually achieve your goals in the new year. I hope all of this helps you out. Please make sure to rate, review, follow, and share this podcast. Please, 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 please go follow me on Instagram, drink some water, and I love you all.